Welcome to Science TV Breakfast Show this Tuesday 19th of August 2025. You are with me, Bill Clinton Odhiambo, standing in for Alan Herbert, but be rest assured we'll be covering you as it should. My sign language interpreter this morning is Gideon Maina, and we do have a lot to unpack. Later on, I will be joining by a guest. I will be joined by a guest, and we'll be talking a lot about disability and policies in Kenya. But then again, as usual, we have to take you through what are the news making headlines this morning. Remember, it has been quite a good Monday yesterday, and this being a Tuesday, we have to follow up with the stories making headlines, and there are quite a lot of them. But be sure to catch up with us through our channels of communication. 0111 980384 is our SMS and WhatsApp number. We are also live on that is social media platforms at Science TV Kenya. So be sure to catch up with us through by sending your comments, your thoughts, and opinions as well. And without much further ado, let's get down to the stories making headlines. And our first story, what was meant to be a parliamentary group meeting between allied parties in the government, that is the UDA and ODM parties, degenerated into a session where MPs were taken to task over accusations of rampant corruption in parliament. President William Ruto read the Riot Act to MPs, accusing them of an alleged extortion into a den of corruption, citing an alleged extortion case where the president said or claimed some 150 million shillings was paid to senators as inducement to save governors from impeachment. Now, this is a really great story where the president decided to read the Riot Act, and we do have that clip for you. And right about now, it should be coming to your screens. Let's take a look at what the president had to say to the MPs in the meeting.
The reality, friends, the reality is that there is a problem. And we all know here, tukitaka tu kusema ukweli, there is a problem. There are people who are destroying the credibility of parliament. And they are collecting money in the name of parliament. The latest, Sokohuru in the Senate. Where does somebody find 150 million? Where? Is that his money? That is money that belongs to the county. Yes. Is that correct or not correct? Yes. Let me ask you, members of parliament who are seated here. Do you, for example, know, do you, for example, know that a few members of your committee collected 10 million shillings so that you could pass that law on anti-money laundering? Did you get the money? So we are not going to shame them. We are going to arrest them. Yes.
I thought you were saying people should reduce lobby. But you know, the people who are lobbying are from outside parliament. They are not inside. They come here, they hover around the corridors of parliament. It's an internationally accepted standard of parliamentary work, Your Excellency. Lobbying. This other one you have talked about is alien to us. I have never seen that one.
But lobbying is a different thing from extortion. From extortion. That you have a member, every committee has got a member who is how do you call him? Welfare bungi. Is giving a very, very image of parliament.
Briefly, the UDM and UDA, the ODM and UDA joint parliamentary group meeting has resolved to fast-track the implementation of the NADCO report's 10-point agenda. Under the implementation matrix presented to the joint UDA-ODM parliamentary group, the committee, led by former ODM Secretary General Agnes Zani, has been tasked to get to work immediately and deliver its final report by March 7th, as the two parties mark their first MOU anniversary. Let's take a look.
And we have the historic opportunity to make this country what we have always wanted it to be, but it has not been.
Let us not underestimate what the leadership of the UDA through President Ruto, the leadership of ODM through His Excellency Raila Odinga has helped us to achieve as a nation.
Decided that it is better to have an imperfect country that is struggling to mend its ways than to have a collapsed one.
On to our next item. Chief Justice Martha Koome has condemned what she described as a sustained social media onslaught aimed at tarnishing the reputation of judicial officers and sow doubt in judicial decisions. Speaking during the 2025 Judges Colloquium themed Digital Transformation, Technology, and the Law, Koome said that while technology aided the judiciary, its dark side poses a threat that borders on eroding judicial independence. Let's take a look on that particular story.
Over the last 1 year, we have witnessed a worrying and haggard trend of increased cyberbullying, targeted harassment, and orchestrated online campaigns against judges and judicial officers. Social media platforms, while serving as important spaces for dialogue and information sharing, have unfortunately become arenas where the dignity of judges and judicial officers are undermined. If left unchecked, this culture of digital intimidation risks creating a chilling effect where we judges feel pressured to decide cases in line with political expediency or wishes of certain private and commercial interests that, dear colleagues, is the greatest threat to judicial independence in our time. Independence is not only about freedom from external control, but also about the ability of us judges to carry out our duty without fear of reprisals, whether physical, political, or digital attacks.
Moving on swiftly, the Democracy for Citizens Party, DCP, is now petitioning the United Nations General Assembly to bar President William Ruto from addressing the 80th session of the forum in September over alleged gross violation of human rights committed by the country's security agencies against protesters. Speaking during a press briefing at the party's headquarters in Nairobi, interim deputy party leader Cleophas Malala also said there are plans to disrupt the planned homecoming rally for party leader Rigathi Gachagua mid this week. Let's take a look.
Innocent citizens have died at the hands of security forces with no accountability from the Kenyan government. The UN Charter, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the multiple treaties Kenya is a signatory to all demand protection of fundamental freedoms. Yet, the President of Kenya seeks to parade himself as a statesman before the international community, while his regime is guilty of bloodshed at home. We therefore join the young people of Kenya in petitioning the United Nations not to grant Mr. William Ruto the honor of addressing the upcoming convention.
All right, let's move on to our next story. The government is raising an alarm over the resurgence of criminal gangs in central Kenya. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, who kicked off the Central Kenya Jukwaa la Usalama in Kiambu County, accuses politicians from the region of being behind the funding of the gangs to destabilize the government, as witnessed in June and July when government installations were torched and businesses ransacked. The government has also begun a 100-day crackdown on liquor manufacturers suspected of being behind the return of illicit and counterfeit liquor in the region. Let's take a look.
Are thriving because of political influence. Those who are harassing business people, extorting from them, extorting from matatu owners, extorting from small businesses. These criminal gangs are of late seeking cover around political activities.
I really beg you, if you play around with these politics and I see some people coming to have justification. There is no justification for having a parallel system of government where people are collecting taxes, where people are not sleeping in the house, where people are being intimidated, where somebody who has not worked on anything is taking revenue from somebody who has done his job. We have to be ruthless and we have to be serious in dealing with these gangs.
We are going to withdraw particularly the licenses for manufacturers who are using the manufacturing licenses to have other satellite businesses, manufacturing centers, especially in slums, in places like Kikuyu or Kiambu here and Thika.
All right, those were our stories making headlines. We are taking a quick break. Remember to keep it Science TV Breakfast Show this morning. We'll be back to you with more stories to cover this morning. Don't go anywhere. Keep it Science TV Breakfast Show. We'll be back after the break.